morning. My listeners for District Natural Resource Development District.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Consultative. I work with MD.
Okay. Thank you for the introductions. Now we know who is here. We have representatives from government ministries, departments, and agencies, particularly the Ministry of Water and Environment. We also have representatives from NEMA and district representatives, 2 districts, that is Mitoma, not 2, we have Mitoma, we have Kasese, we have Wakiso. I know we will also be joining us. And with that, we also have the academia for this particular meeting. They will be joining us soon. Without taking much more time, let's go to the remarks. We are having a representative from WWF. WWF is our partner that is supporting this particular initiative of helping us to see that we can be able to come up with the regulations that are guiding the establishment of the district environment and natural resource committees as provided for under the National Environment Act 2019, Cap 181. So I want to welcome Ms. Rita Chategeka to give us the remarks on behalf of WWF. You're welcome, Rita.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's called good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I bring you greetings from the World Wildlife Foundation, and we thank you for honoring this invitation. We also want to thank our partner, Emily, for not just convening this meeting, but for consistently analyzing the policy environment in which we operate and identifying gaps that are often inherent to us achieving sustainability and conservation of our natural resources. So I think they deserve a hand up. Thank you so much, Melanie. The elephant in the room, the district environment and natural resources committees. The situation we have in the country is that while some districts are doing extremely well, some have actually never heard about these committees or even seen or even envisioned having them. And this has been a huge hindrance to conservation work, because then they are not able to incorporate the gaps or the challenges into development programs. They are not able to monitor. And in some instances, we've seen committees that have actually issued ordinances and bylaws to address the immediate environment challenges. But again, some districts have struggled, they can't even do this. So we hope with the support from NEMA and the Ministry of Water and Environment, that when we get these guidelines, we shall be able to roll them out to struggling districts, but we shall also be able to learn from the districts that are doing well, that have been doing this for a very long time. So I want to invite us to actively participate and ensure that we produce for this country guidelines that are going to really complement our conservation and environment management work. I thank you for coming and thank you for listening.
Thank you for delivering those remarks and for emphasizing the need to roll out the guidelines once they are finalized to be able to support the districts in undertaking their roles. We know these guidelines are going to help highlight clearly the roles of these committees and how they need to do their operations. which will help us in environmental management as we serve our planet, but also achieve the sustainable goals that we are aiming at. With that, I want us to go into the scene setting to help us understand the objectives of today's workshop. It's going to be the scene setting is going to help us know why we are here, and also give a background to the far we've come to this day. I already noted that this is an initiative that we are implementing, being supported by the Worldwide Fund for Nature, and we are aiming at promoting centralized governance for environment. And that is why the regulations are a critical element and a key output for this particular initiative. Okay, so the background is that there is a National Environment Act 2019, which provides for the establishment of the National Environment and Natural Resource Committee to perform key functions, one of which is to coordinate urban and district council activities related to environment and natural resource management, prepare district environment action plans, integrate environment concerns in the district plans, and also prepare the district state of environment reports. I don't know how many districts have the state of environment reports, and also if they know at what level they have integrated the environment in the development, in the district development plans. So those are some of the roles for these committees to help in bridging such gaps. And the challenge in decentralized environmental governance is that despite the provisions, there is continued degradation of our environment, evident from the clearing of Boma Forest Reserve for sugar planting or growing, and also the deforestation that is happening in Kalinzi Forest Reserve, but also the encroachment on Echuya Central Forest. Those are some of the evidences, despite the effort to decentralize environmental management, giving powers to the district local governments to be able to put in place actions that are aimed at conserving. The gaps are still manifesting. And the key challenges are that many district local governments have not complied with the provision in the Act to establish the district environment committees. They have failed to fully constitute and operationalize these committees due to lack of the guidelines. Most of the districts that we interacted with, they highlighted the lack of guidelines as a major issue on how they can come up with those committees. They kept asking the question, who appoints the members to these committees? So the guidelines will help in defining some of this. Then also the low organizational capacity. There is weakness in implementing functions, but also limited coordination with the national level. We are glad that today we are bridging this gap. We've brought NEMA, but also Ministry of Water, to interact with the district local governments to see what is it exactly that is limiting this coordination. Then, since NEMA is now drafting this, we've been supported under CEDA through WWF to organize the second consultative meeting. This is the second consultative meeting on these draft regulations. The first meeting we had was held in Barra with Kisoro district and Rubirizi district. And from that meeting, a suggestion or recommendation was made that we need to broaden the consultations and solicit input from other districts. And this is a response to that recommendation, and we are grateful that WWF was able to fund us and support the second consultative workshop as part of a project that is aimed at improving decentralized environmental governance in the Greater Virunga landscape. The objective for this workshop is to enhance the awareness of the National Environment Act and contribute to the development of the draft regulations. Then specifically, we want to raise awareness of the provisions of the Act, then share the findings of the study on experiences and functionality of district environment committees. You heard from Rita that we need to learn from what is existing. So as part of the initiative, we did a study to document what is the experience and the functionality of the district committees, not particularly the environment committees, but all the committees. What are the experiences? Which lessons can we learn from them as we go forward to establish the district environment and natural resource committees? Then we shall also solicit for input into the draft regulations and identify the gaps and opportunities for operationalizing these committees once the guidelines are out and we need to establish. Then the expected outcome of this workshop, at the end of the workshop, we want to have the awareness raised on this act and also input provided in the draft regulations. That serves for a scene setting, and I hope that we all know why we are here now. Looking at the program, you will see that it aligns with objectives, where we want to know the gaps, the opportunities. We shall have a panel. Then we want to know the findings from the study. We are still going to have a presentation on the same. And then the provisions in the Act, we shall have them presenting both the provisions and also the draft regulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christine, for taking us through the objectives and expectations. I see you have been joined by some colleagues. Please feel free to introduce yourself. I hate to be in a workshop and I'm referred to as human. I like my surname so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Gracious Mijumbi is my name. I'm coming from Goel District Government. I'm the Senior Forest Officer of Goel, representing the District Natural Resources Officer.
Thank you very much. And just to reiterate what Christina said, the first consultation was in Ibaraka, and we met a few district governments. This time around, we have decided to be in Kampala, and you can see we have Wero, Kiso, and I think we expect something from KCCA. In addition to Mitoma, Kasese. Why? Because one of the principles of policy and law formulation is the broad stakeholder engagement. So we will try as much as we can next number of days to really ensure that the number of stakeholders, that's the actively participate in this piece of legislation. It is the regulation prescribing procedures for the district environment and resources committee. It's a regulation, it's not a guideline, meaning that it is also law. It's a law, and we need really to actively contribute. So that is why we are ensured that we get a lot of experiences from way back. We thought about experiences, and we are grateful to WWF, who again said, okay, you can work on the background study to see how other committees are functioning. The presentation, which I think my colleague is going to take us through. The presentation ready? Yes. So over to you, Christine.
Thank you. I'm going to be making a presentation of findings and recommendations from a study that was done to document experiences and functionality of the committees at the district level. I hope we can all see. Yes. Okay. So this background I have already alluded to it. That the establishment is provided for under Section 27 of the Act. And despite these statutory requirements, many districts face challenges in establishing functional district environment committees, including the absence of clear regulations to guide their formation and operationalization. The roles of the district environment and natural committees, natural resource committees are provided for still under the Act, under the Section 27. I don't know how many have had a look at that section, at the colleagues from the districts. The assumption is that you've read the rules. And just to highlight, specifically the committees to coordinate environment management activities, prepare district environment action plans, integrate environmental concerns into the development projects, and also monitor activities to ensure they do not do harm to the environment. They're supposed to prepare district state of environment reports, enforce ordinances and bylaws, disseminate environment information, and collaborate with NEMA to enhance environmental governance. The rationale why we did this study is because it is a key, why we are contributing to the regulations and why the study was done. It is because it is a key requirement under the Act to establish these committees that are responsible for coordinating environment activities, enforcing regulations, and integrate environmental concerns into development planning. So the study was done to give a basis to inform the drafting process of these regulations, and the findings on the procedure to ensure that once these committees are established, they are fully operational, making sure that we do not repeat the same mistakes, maybe, or we do not follow the same challenges that the existing committees are facing, so that we can be able to form a solution for the new committee that is provided for. The purpose of the field survey was to gather and document experiences, successes, challenges, and lessons learned from existing committees to inform the drafting of these regulations, specifically to assess the structure, the roles and responsibilities of the related district committees, highlight case studies of districts where the committees have demonstrated effectiveness, analyze the key barriers hindering their functionality, and also provide evidence-based recommendations for formulation of the regulations to guide the establishment of the district environment and natural resource committees. So from the study, the survey we did, we looked at the major environment issues. The study was done in 2 districts, that is Kasese and Mitoma, where we did consultations with members of the existing committees, but also we did consultations with civil society organizations. And the key environment issues that came up from the 2 districts, for Kasese, they majorly face landslides and mudslides. According to the response, we got 73.3% of respondents ranking this as being the major environment issue in the district, followed by forest flooding and drought. They have the same rating. Then Mitoma, the major environment issue is heavy rains, but then they face heavy rains, of course, resulting into the destruction of property and also the flooding in the wetlands. Then there is drought, also was highlighted as a key environment issue, deforestation, some reclamation for agriculture, and hailstorms. Other issues that were identified included road blockages, overgrazing, and river bursting. Then from the respondents, 58.3% of the respondents interviewed agreed that they had district environment committees. But then they believed that the environment committees are actually there, and they kept saying environment issues are discussed in the production committee. So for them, the feel was that the environment committees are there. Then all members of the district production committees noted that they have these the district environment and nature committees in place. And some NGOs also, they have heard about these committees. They have interacted with them. They kept noting the disaster committee that takes into issues of disaster, especially in Kasese, where the civil society, they have been so supportive of the district local governments in terms of rescue missions. Then the head of department also reiterated that while the act stipulated what is needed to establish this committee, it is still not operational. And we shall see reasons why this is not operational. Then some functions of the district committees. Some of the functions established committees. For Kasese, we had the Disaster Management Committee, the Disaster Response Committee, the Production, Marketing and Natural Resource, Technical Planning, Nutrition was also highlighted as a committee at the district, then Environment, Fiscal Planning Committee, and Waste Management. For the representatives from Kasese, you're free to refute this and give us a clear wording of the committees if we awarded them wrongly. Then Mitoma, at Mitoma, there is the Production, Natural Resources, Trade and Commerce Sectoral Committee, Community-Based Services Committee, Natural Resources and Lands, Disaster Preparedness Committee, Fiscal Planning, Road Works, and Water. Those are the committees that the respondents highlighted during the survey. In the composition of the district committees, it was highlighted that these district committees are composed of elected councils. They have the chief administrative officer. Committees have technical officers who serve as ex officios. ex-official members, for example, the district health environmental officers, the planners, the natural resource officers, those serve as the ex-officials. Then committee, there is a committee secretary and also civil society. These are invited to participate in specific issues. If there is a disaster, that is when the civil societies can support the committee to be able to respond to it. Those are just the specifics, and the previous were the categories. Then the roles and responsibilities of district committees. The core role was development of work plans, was guidance and advice during committee meetings, then awareness and sensitization, followed by development of work plans, then mobilize people, then monitoring, scrutinize budgets, preparation of policies, warn on disasters, and also revenue collection, report to committees on work plan. Some they approve plans, implement these policies and laws, and also allocation and ensure safety of people. Sorry, it is daily reporting, case management. So the different committees have different roles. These roles are cross-cutting. You find majorly, but the major thing is planning and also budgeting, as they do other things of monitoring, raising awareness, and also responding to disasters. Then effectiveness, why the committees were effective was because of the strong leadership, then the good community relations with the district leaders, then joint monitoring by all committees, well-equipped and skilled technical committee staff to cater for issues, and also sensitization of communities, education and skilled training of committee members, then joint coordination, and also specialization and effectiveness in service in delivery of output. Those are some of the strengths that were noted from the committees. The strong leadership, of course, the LC, we also had an opportunity to interview the LC5 representatives, and they highlighted strong leadership and collaboration as a key issue that is helping in advancing these committees that are currently effective. And they kept making mention of the productions committee. The disaster committee for Kasese stood out because maybe because of the rampant disasters that are happening. So they are giving them more work to do and to show that they are actually working. So the people interviewed kept on saying the disaster, we've held camps, we've gotten, Caritas has given us vehicles to do relief. So it stood out for Kasese. Then the main challenges of the committee, the standing out challenge was the inadequate funding. The committees do not have enough funding, and you may find that if they are to sit quarterly, they are not able to sit because of the lack of funding. But they highlighted that in collaboration with some partners can come, especially the civil society. If there is an issue, they can provide some resources for a meeting. And then they highlighted political interference, then low participation. Some members do not turn up for meetings. Then a poor mindset of the community staying in areas prone to disaster. So however much the committees are trying their best to sensitize people to vacate from hotspot areas, but because of the mindset, we're told was it in Kasese, where people believe that their ancestors, that they have not pleased their ancestors. That is why there is a lot of disasters. So they need to do those gatherings and do offerings and start the worshiping so that they can please them and maybe the disasters can reduce. So they think that all other efforts, they're actually not going to do much until they appease their ancestors. And there is limited knowledge on how to handle these disasters. And also, of course, the lack of resources separate from the funds. For example, if it is relief, you might find there are no vehicles to do that. Then if it is giving food to the people in the camps, food is not available, which makes the roles of the committees very hard. Not all of them, but those that are responding to this issue. Then success stories, we found that WWF, with support from WWF, committees have developed satellite digital tools used to detect any changes in climate, hence predict chances of disaster occurring. So this forms one of the effectiveness of the disaster committee, is that they have the tools with the support from the different partners. And that makes it very critical for partnership if these committees are to be operational. Then development of the contingency plan for the committee and community in response to disasters. They have a contingency plan. Actually, this all speak to the disaster risk and management committee. Then the committee was also able to implement laws related to environmental management and provide incentives to deal with wetland encroachment and degradation. Then communities have been sensitized and encouraged on other income generating activities. That is to be able to promote environment conservation. There is need to set up other livelihood sources. If people, from the same setting, I highlighted the encroachment on the forest. So if we do not have to, if we don't want this to happen, we need to set out other livelihood sources. So some committees, it was highlighted that this is one of the success stories that can be promoted by committees in collaboration with communities. Then in conclusion, in a world where well-catered environment determines human existence and well-being, it is important that the human activities should be made in an environmentally friendly manner. So for all the activities, human activities, we should be very conscious about the environment. For example, floods were cited as a major issue in Kasese, attributed to by poor land use systems. So these are some of the issues that we need to consider as we move forward to effective environment management. Then Kasese and Mitoma have put in place mechanisms to address environmental issues by both government and there is collaboration. In conclusion, there is collaboration between government and non-state. That is why for the regulations, it should be clear on these collaborations and the roles of the different non-state actors. Then, however, a lot still needs to be done to achieve sustainable development. We need to have more funds because 70% of the respondents reported this as a major challenge that is hindering the effectiveness of committees. And then a recommendation was made to have clear guidelines, to establish clear guidelines and operational guidelines, clear regulations and operational guidelines to support effective functioning of these committees. Then districts struggle to operationalize because of lack of funding or because of lack of clear regulations. So we need this, and also we need to do continuous monitoring of if whether these committees are actually meeting the objectives or their mandates, and also be able to define what is the problem as to why they're not achieving the mandate. And awareness and sensitization campaigns, it should be carried out to create a sense of ownership and active environmental in environmental issues. For example, communities living in disaster-prone areas may help avert, but they cannot avert without being aware and without being sensitized. And community participation is key. And also, as the committees are doing their work, stakeholder analysis is very, very key to know the roles that the different communities can play, and also the different partners, what role they can play and at what level. Is it funding? Is it awareness? So that stakeholder analysis is very, very critical. Thank you so much. Those are the findings that we got. We visited Mutoma and Kasese to serve as a case study to inform the establishment of the regulations that guide the establishment of the district environment and natural resource committees. And I am glad that some of the people we interviewed are here. So feel free to critique and help us improve the findings. If we missed anything, and if we need to add anything, please feel free. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Christine. I know we haven't had breakfast. Can you give another round? Now I need to stand because becoming now excited. We have received the presentation on functionality and experiences of district committees. And you have seen what was shared. The beauty that we have representatives from Kasese and Mitoma, but before maybe I've seen some people were coming in. Where is the mic? Can you take time and introduce each other if you know you haven't introduced yourself? Such that we get to know you, you know us as we move. Yes.
Thank you very much. By the name of Denrc, this Plan and Resources District Local Government. My name is Judy Umere Eno, like to answer assessor.
We don't know you, sir.
Okay. Nathan, this is my name. I work with the Ministry of Water and Environment as an environment officer. I'm glad to have the Kasese people here because there is a case on my desk. Is it Kanyara? Okay.
Morning. My name is Alex Masereka. I am the Senior Forestry Officer at Kasese.
Good morning. My name is Baruch James. I'm sitting in for the Denrc Kasese.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maska Baleva, Environment Officer, sitting in for the Senior Environment Officer, Kasese District Local Government.
My name is Atigeka Laxis Adolfo, Chairperson of Production, Marketing and Natural Resources.
Now, Elias Asimo, I work for Kima Force in Kasese.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, before, there is someone. Sorry, I missed it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Caroline Chiro. I work with Environmental Board. Thank you.
Okay. It is always good when someone is writing about you, you are given audience to first respond what is being written about you. And now that we have colleagues from the two districts, first want to give the opportunity to you to either affirm that yes, those are findings that are true. If there was something which was left out, please feel free. If there is an experience you think we need to highlight, please also highlight it. So the floor is open. I first want to give this person, you have the mic. Okay, so I'm looking for affirmations, adjustment, correction.
Thank you very much, Kasisa District Environment Officer. Mine is to affirm, but also in the presentation I saw landslides being given the first place. I think this should interchange and we put floods as the first and give landslides the second place. That is Kasisa District Local Government.
Much. I was coming to ask, are we talking of climate disasters? Environmental issue. Yes. Any other? Okay. Thank you for that clarity, because indeed floods, the ones which also cause the next problem. Committees, from what you shared with us, most of the committees you shared with us are committees within the district. Committees which are established under the district structures. And the one committee which seems to have occurred throughout, if my notes are clear, the district disaster management committee, and then also I had a district response committee. How are the two working together? The management committee and the response committee. Anyone know the error pass? And then in Mitoma, the name changes. District Preparedness Committee. Who can tell us why the nomenclature? Also, for record purposes, please you remind us your name.
The two committees, the disaster response committee, quite broader because it carries so many people and many organizations within the district. But the disaster management committee is more restricted to technical staff of other districts. But this one, the disaster response committee has Red Cross and many other organizations within it. But we're doing almost more for us and more.
Thank you. I'd just like to inquire something. Says my name. You mentioned that the disaster management committee is restricted to the district. Does it mean it's only handling issues of the staff within the district? And is the disaster response going beyond, okay, besides having the different organizations or stakeholders, is it handling more issues, for instance, climate change, waste management, everything? I'd like to get some clarification.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. The disaster management committee is both intra and extra. The collaboration between the different departments in response to disasters within the district. Now, when it comes to responding, we bring on board other organizations. That's why you had Hamilton Caritas coming on board, providing relief. And so many other organizations like Red Cross. But for the first one, it is us as technical planning committee, when a disaster has occurred, which department is supposed to be brought on board, both the department, environment, the council, and so many other departments within the district have been able to do that.
Thank you very much. I say hands.
My name is Divis Ndivaisa from ECHO. Whereas we appreciate that there are challenges, the percentage under sensitization programs was really low. And from our interaction with other districts, they have free airtime, like the governments have airtime on local radio stations. I was just wondering, maybe I need clarity. Are there no local radio stations in the two districts where the district committees can take advantage of and use free government airtime to increase on the sensitization?
Community development officer, they should tell us.
Yeah, for us in Kasese, we have been using that airtime for the RNC. We have programs on Saturdays when we assume that members of the community are able to listen into the radio. We have been using that, but I can assure you that is not enough. It's not enough. We need to get down to the ground and be able to meet these people either at parish level or at village level, because not everyone owns a radio. And even if they own radios, they are never listening to radios at the time when you get to pass the information. So there is a lot that still needs to be done in terms of creating awareness and disseminating information to the communities. And in order for us to achieve this, we surely need to fund these committees, because the representatives on these committees, some of them, and most, if not most of them, are from these parishes and villages that they represent.
Thank you. Raise a hand.
Guys, funds will never be enough. If you go in the heaven, funds will never be enough. For us in Mitoma, we always have Mr. General Kendutafia and Deputy Speaker, they are all having radios. So we are having that chance. To make a sensitization, even to reach at the village level. And again, Mitoma district, where I is Leadership Club. And Mitoma, because according to the findings, Nyamhis was restored fully. And we are trying to make even another. We are restoring even the pillars. Actually, Mitoma we are fine. Mitoma we are fine. Again, to know that Mitoma we are very okay. Even we are having committees start from the village up to the district. So for us, we are making our sensitization from LOC up to the district. Thank you very much.
Thank you, neighbor. Can you go to the back?
I needed someone from
That one we are going to do. That one. But you see, we are getting experiences. Please, I hope the note taker you are for documenting. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm just adding my voice towards the. There was a question about disaster management committee and also disaster response. My experience, my own experience. In Wero, yes, in Wero, that was also in Wero. What about the ball and things? Usually there is a disaster policy, disaster response and preparedness management committee on policy. And the second one is a technical disaster response committee. Now, at the district level, the RDC will be in charge of the policy response, disaster response committee. Then, at the technical level, the district police commander will be in charge of that one. For instance, if they're trying to go to the communities, you find police very active, and this is why the fire response vehicles are given to police. Even when you look at ambulances, they work, the health centers or the district health, director of health services will work directly with the district police command because they are part of the technical arm of the district disaster response and preparedness committees. So, in my view, there are two levels of engagement. There's the policy level of engagement that brings in other stakeholders outside government, like Red Cross, World Vision, and others. Then the technical, of course, the technical people at the district levels working together with the police to see that people are evacuated, to see that people are supported, like that. Of course, all being coordinated under the office of the Prime Minister. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that insight. You still have your chance.
Yeah, it was exciting to hear that Mitoma is really doing very well. So I wanted to find out the experience with the functionality of the district environment and natural resources committee within Mitoma, because as from the experiences, there were success stories from the other committees. Yeah. But now, how about this very one we are talking about, where we are having other members of the committee as area MPs? I know, of course, with Mitoma. Okay, let's just hear from you. And then maybe we see the challenges from the other committee, from the other districts. Thank you.
I need to protect Mitoma. One, you know very well that they can't establish new committees without the guidance. That's one. Maybe we are talking of our parent district environment committees of 1994. So number, you still have the old committee of the district environment committee of the old law.
No,
So you tell us how you are doing with any committee on environment.
the committee, we have the cow, then we have the stakeholder, chairman UC5, then the technical staff. And we have district. We have community-based service. And those are the people we are still dealing with. And for us, we are starting even at the village. At the village chairman, the LC1 is the leading. Then at the parish chief is leading that committee. Then at the sub-county chief is leading that committee. And then at the district, then the cow is leading that committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nabo. Just to just clarify before we leave that, which committee are you referring to, which is represented at the village, parish, sub-county, and the district? Which is that specific committee? How do you call it? Is it the? Can you show us the committees we saw in Metoma? Can you take us back? Is it the district production centers? Okay, those are the 6-7 committees: production, natural resource and land, preparedness, physical planning, road. So, which of the committees are you talking about there?
The first committee and the second.
And the second.
Yes.
So the first committee and the second are the ones which are moving from the village up to the district.
Yes.
Excellent. So that answers what she was asking about the district environment committee. And now what we seem to see is the nomenclature changes across local governments. So what you might call a district environment committee in Wakiso may be called the natural resource trade committee in Mito. And now you can see why we are sharing experiences. So Nathan, I see you are not comfortable. Okay, you give. You see, we first want to know the waters we are going in. Yes.
Okay, we have sector committees of council. And now when you talk of production natural resources, that is the sector committee of council. But the actors of the district environment and natural resources committee. Now, the 1995 Act was talking about that committee, and we used to agree to use those sector committees of council to act as environment committee. But now, when you look at the composition and the membership, it goes beyond the sector committee, and I think we need to distinguish between these two, and as well as understand the roles, because someone will be asked, do you have a district environment committee? And you refer to that sector committee, which is different from the other one referred to in the current law.
Thank you, Nathan. I see Rebecca. Rebecca, Can you unmute? Okay, as Rebecca, you're unmuting. One of the peculiar issue we found out in this study when we went to Mitoma and Kasese. We noted that there was a thin line between separation of sectoral committees which support council and committees which were provided for in parent laws. We saw that, but because our TOR was open, the consultant was not required to put a mirror or a line between sectoral committee and committees provided for by law. That's why you see they went and sampled. But what you are speaking is the gist of the matter today. The gist of the matter is what is comfortable at the district is it what is being effective? Are the districts comfortable with their sectoral committees they have been working with under the Local Government Act? Because from where you go, you'll find districts, the minutes you find are minutes of the district technical planning committees, the minutes of district disaster what? The technical one, the disaster management committees. But then when it came to the district environment committee of 94, 95, so also the year of our law was so far, you'll find that we had a term called the district environment committees in the act, but every district went and did what it desired. And now we are being haunted by that misfortune of 1995. That now, with the new law, which has clarified on composition, then the challenge is how does this new composition fit in what is the status quo? That's why we are digging these experiences, such that as the framers of this regulation take note of these peculiar issues, which you don't find anywhere, because you never find that segregation between sectoral committees or councils. That what you see in Parliament, how Parliament has the accountability, the PAC, the work, and so forth and so on. But then there are these committees which are established by piece of legislation or a policy. So thank you for pointing out that. I don't know if Rebecca is still wishing to state, but her comment is all these committees under the natural resources docket or other departments. I think this goes to number. Is the production, natural resource trade, the natural resource and lands, the district preparedness committee, are all these committees under the natural resources department? Where is the mic? Because we need the. Okay. Let me first give a number.
Thank you very much. They are not all under the Natural Resources Committee. Yes, department.
I wanted to make a flashback on the presentation by Christine. I think that was number 2. it was about the purpose of the study. Why we were looking at constraints to functionality of the district environment and natural resources committee. I wish you could get back that.
Where is the IT? IT, please come and
Purpose of the study. Down there. Yes, number 3. Analyze the key barriers hindering functionality of the committees. I treated it a little bit important. In this report that we have gone through, I find other things that, for instance, affect you well, because most of it here we were like talking about climate, disaster risk reduction and rest. But as far as other challenges, in Rural you find a challenge of agriculture, commercial agriculture, whereby they are clearing forests, natural forests, and sugarcane, like the case of Uganda, which was put in the was they clear so many square miles and erase the forest to put sugarcane. Sometimes also the wetlands, a lot of wetlands have been cleared and they are planted with sugarcane. There is sand mining, there is also wetland, degradation and the rest. However, what I wanted to say is that other than the mentioned items on the barriers, I find something to do with also constraints in having a constrained staff structure at the district. It's also another problem. And also lack of incentives for the district environment and natural resources committees. They're not incentivized enough. And also there is no clear plan for monitoring and evaluation of the activities or work of the district environment and natural resources committee. That is my view. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There was a hand.
Thank you so much. My name is Jerry Ambrose, representing the DNR Orchestra District. Please, if you could go back on the committees. Thank you. Mr. Nabod says that in Mutoma District, when you look at production, natural resources, trade and commerce sector committee, and he says all these committees are not under natural resource department. Yes. Then I want you maybe to give clarity when you look at plate number 3, natural resources and lands, then physical planning. When you go in roads, there's roads, works, and water. So when you look at those 3 committees, the first one, then the third plate, and the physical planning. To me, it's like a repetition. Production natural resources, how is it different from natural resources and lands? If you can maybe give clarity, and are they fully functional? When you said that maybe they're only this one, the production natural resources is only at the district, then how about the natural resources and lands? Do we have lands officer at this ground level?
Okay. Please bring the mic to the we will be breaking for lunch. Tea, that means I am hungry.
Thank you very much. When we take a look at natural resources and lands, at the sub-county, we have the chairman land board. Yes.
Sub-county.
At the sub-county.
Area.
Now that one is under natural resources department. Then fiscal planning committee, it is also starts at the sub-county. And it is under natural resources department. When we take a look at road, works and water, it is also under natural resources department. And I think environment office is also have a big hand on it. Thank you very much.
And then he asked about functionality. Are they meeting regularly?
Yes.
Excellent. So I am liking this. That we are getting really what is happening on the ground and by the people themselves. We are supposed to go back into experiences, but this time we are depicting an interest on financing. But maybe the question to all the district local governments here, Luwero, Wakiso, Mitoma, and Assessor. Where do these committees draw the budget from? I think that is one of the issues we thought we would need to answer. And I want to give an opportunity to each of the representatives to tell us, where do you draw money to fund activities of your committee? For example, those, even if they are under your natural resources department, or if they are out, but you are a member of the district technical planning committee. So, whom do we start with? Who is ready? Who is ready? Is ready? Who is ready? By show of hands.
For Kasese, disaster response and disaster management, we don't have a budget. We only rely on external support. Like, for example, where we need a response, a Red Cross will come and say, I'll provide water, and maybe also as district we get vehicles, and other partners can come in and give us fuel. We don't have a budget for that. Now, on these other committees like the Environment and Natural Resource Committee, that one will have a budget, but it is not sufficient. It is not fully funded. Every time you submit a request to funding, we tell you there's no money. Even when the budget is there and the work plan is there. Now, for the Technical Planning Committee, we have a budget for it, though it is also not funded as expected. Then also the Technical Planning Committee is supposed to be monthly, according to the laws. That one is funded because we have to discuss matters concerning the district and it's from all departments. So apart from the two, the district disaster management committee and this district response committee, the rest of our committees have budgets and they know.
including the physical plan.
Yes. Round the passage.
Okay, please, you give a mic. I want to capture that experience on the ground.
Thank you. Fiscal plan assesses district local government. Recently, we got a grant of 20 millions that had attachments of 3, where we had an issue to do with the operationalization of the fiscal planning committees at the district level that at some point was supposed to roll it to the sub-county levels. Then we also have an attachment to do with the operation of the PDPs, that is the fiscal development plans. And then we will also have an attachment to do with the procurement of gadgets like high-end computers and GPS gadgets. So we are operating on a budget that compares the fiscal planning grant and the normal budget that we have. Thank you.
So that's a small thing.
Yes,
Is it true that from the fees you charge, you retain a portion to support the work of the committee?
That one has not been vividly verified. As I said earlier, we're operating on a budget that is there, and as of recent, we got the grant. But now in the practice, we have 2 issues. We have an issue to do with the development permit, which is done at the fiscal planning level. And then after that, these drawings are proceeded to the level of the building control. So as the fiscal planner, I sit on board. But as we charge these various categories of revenue, for us at the fiscal planning level, we end at charging 50,000 and it's countrywide. So when it comes to the building permit, that is where we do it per square meter. Vis-a-vis the categories, we have class A, class B, and then class C. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Another hand?
Thank you so much. For Wakisa District, the District Employment and Natural Resources Committee, apparently, I know there is the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Development Project that is going on. That is in Kampala capital city, or Mukono District, Mukono Municipality, the 4 municipalities of Wakiso District. You know that Wakiso has 4 municipalities, and that is Nansana, Chira, Entebbe, and Machinja Sabagao. So there is that project, the GKMA, apparently funding the Wakiso District Environment and Natural Resources Committee. Then, for the District Fiscal Planning Committee, that one is for development applications, and it sits every month. Then for the District Environment and Natural Resources Committee, that one sits per quarter, and every quarter there is a monitoring exercise and also a meeting per quarter. Thank you.
Maybe I was to come back. Did you say the Fiscal Planning Committee, you are getting also a grant under that project?
No.
You say it funded?
I said for the District Fiscal Planning Committee, that is funded by the district. There is a budget for that. Because every month, this committee has sit and look into the application from developers that is being submitted to the district. Then for the District Environment and Natural Resources Committee,
currently is funded by the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area Urban Development Project that is ongoing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. There was a question that you raised, which was concerning payments for allowances, certain allowance of the fiscal planning committee. And we wondered whether the fee, the charges that are levied on the plans is what we use as allowances for those settings or facilitation. This money, much of the money goes into the consolidated fund. So we don't extract it as a side income. So when it comes back, it comes back as revenue to the district. So it is not true that the money that we levy on development is what we use for facilitating communities. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So we have heard from Luero. No, we have heard from Wakiso, Kasese. So we have Mitoma and Luero. How are you financing the committee?
Thank you. For Luero, I think we have two sources. There is the local revenue collected at the district, because it is remitted to the center, but part of it gets back to the district to support activities like sitting on some of the committees. Then the other one is also part of the grant released by the Ministry of Water and Environment, called the Environment Grant. As we do technical activities, we also plan to support these sittings of the committees, especially the Production and Natural Resources Committee, the Fiscal and Government Committee, and the other related committees to environment. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That's clear. We speak in Komitona.
Thank you very much. For Mitoma, Fiscal Planning Committee, we always depend on revenue collection. And on the other side, we always wait the small money which we always get from the Ministry of Water. Yeah, that is small money.
You're protected. You're protected number. So we know any money can be big or small. So it depends how I describe it. Yes, we are going to break for tea, but someone hadn't introduced us all. So please.
Thank you, good morning, everyone. I'm so sorry for coming late, but I'm on you. My name is Eunice Asebuza, and I work for NEMA as the legal manager. I have interfaced and met with quite a few of them. The old team, I think, has gone because I actively worked in Mitoma. I collaborated with Naboth, the old Naboth. Now this is the new and young Naboth. Mitoma is quite interesting. You know, they are doing the mining of gold in their valleys. We formulated an ordinance for them, and it is a district which that can really have revenue if they really collect that. We noted in the meeting, ever since I entered, that the money is there, the conditional plans are there, but the money is not enough. Even at the national level, as NEMA, we keep saying the money is not enough. So how are we then to cure that? We are mindful of the NEP that will soon come to you in the form of a conditional grant, the 70%, yes. We have worked, NEMA has worked on the regulation. It is yet to be approved by the minister, and it will be taken to the relevant processes. Mr. Vatika, I applaud you for convening us here to Emily and other supporters. Yes, it is very crucial. This is going to be their own regulation. Unlike the noise and other regulations, maybe NEP and others, those we can formulate at the national level. But for this very regulation, we need your input as a group. And actually, Mr. Vachika, I would implore you that we continue these consultations, we continue these sensitizations at different levels. And I would like us to have evidence of having consulted this team, because this is a law that is going to be solely used by these people at the district. So we don't want to develop a law until the end of the day, they say, look here, we are never consulted. If there is evidence that I'm going to keep, that NEMA is going to give, is the evidence that you attended these meetings and you gave us input. I am happy to belong here, to be here with you, but like I've said, I am on leave, but allow me to introduce the acting manager, who is Mr. Mwindo, who we have not introduced. Yeah. James. Yes, in this meeting, he's my boss, he's the acting. I can't delegate, and then when I come here, I take over the powers. He's in charge. Eh? For us at NEMA, when you delegate, he's really, you delegate, and when you haven't been a meeting, you respect the person, because he has delegated powers. I also have another lady, Doreen, she's the acting senior legal officer in charge of litigation. So, Mr. Machika, in this meeting, NEMA is ably represented. Mr. James Mugindo has worked with this journey, and I'm extremely confident. I'm really happy that he's in this meeting, and we shall carry on the process at the end as expected.
Thank you. With that, I want to invite you for tea. Sorry for really keeping you for this, but it was an exciting discussion. Some of us, you know why we have become so nervous. We have been locked in this policy and law process for so many years. We are tired of mistakes. So when you get an opportunity to amend a mistake which has haunted you for 10 years, use it. So it wasn't taking you on spot, but to make sure that we get these systemic challenges, and then we come up with the law which speaks to these challenges. So tea is provided, and feel free. Told me first have a picture. Wait, out here? Okay. So picture and then I will talk to Rita about NEMA's extended request.